For a long time, fatherhood has been defined in pretty narrow ways: provider, disciplinarian, helper. Many dads today want something deeper and more connected. Redefining fatherhood isn't about rejecting the past, it's about expanding what's possible. So let's talk about some of the oldies. Common stereotypes: dad as the secondary parent, dad as emotionally distant or less nurturing. Or how about dad shows love through providing, not connecting? These old narratives about fatherhood limits fathers and their families. Now, these roles were shaped by culture and by survival, and they might have had a place, and again, they served in a specific context, but they might not be what you want or necessarily what children need most now in the world we have now. So let's consider instead fatherhood as emotional presence. So the Gottmans actually did a lot of research on dads and the role of father, and they have found, unsurprisingly, kids benefit from parents who are emotionally tuned, not just physically present, and especially from fathers who are emotionally tuned, not just physically present. And what might this look like? This looks like listening without fixing, noticing and naming feelings, and being responsive in small, everyday moments. If someone reaches out to you, do you respond to them or do you kind of like finish what you have to do? That is okay sometimes, but the responsiveness is also important. Remember, emotional presence builds long term trust and security. We can also look at expanding what strength looks like. The traditional message is that strength is stoicism, control, independence. The expanded definition could be flexibility. Think like a big, strong tree, right? Flexible in the wind, doesn't break because of its flexibility. That's what gives it its strength. Like tensile strength, being able to pull something really hard, right? Doesn't break when it's stretched. Could also be vulnerability. It takes strength to be vulnerable. Consistency, showing up, not just when it matters, showing up all the time, more of the time. Some examples might be things like saying, I don't know, but I'm here. It can also be apologizing and repairing. Strength comes from acting from what's important to you, even when it's uncomfortable. So that's something that we can tap into, all parents can tap into. Now, let's look at breaking patterns without blaming. Many fathers are parenting differently than they were parented. And sometimes this can bring up sadness or confusion or uncertainty. Just because your dad did it one way and you're choosing something different didn't make them a bad dad. You can honor what you received and choose something different. You can notice maybe internal messages that you're having, like, this isn't how dads act, um, and choosing to align with the father that you want to be. Taking the pieces that you appreciated from your own experience and moving those forward. While we're talking about dads and what it might have looked like back then, fatherhood is part of partnership. So the husband part of dad. Looking at moving beyond helping and instead looking a little more at co-owning parenting and family life. So this includes some of the emotional labor. This includes planning. This includes caregiving and connection. So when we talk about things like emotional labor, that is the person who shows up to help calm and receive and balance big feelings. Planning and caregiving, we hear this as mental load. Like, it's not just doing the thing, but are you aware of what it takes to get the thing done and when it has to be done and all of that? Strong co parenting relationships support stronger parent child bonds because you're supporting each other, which then allows you to be more present with your child. Remember, sharing responsibility proactively, not reactively. Proactive means you're thinking about it, right? As we're changing, as we're looking at these new ways of expanding what strength means, what fatherhood might mean, we're modeling this for the next generation. And children learn how to express emotion, not just from mom, but from dad. That's also important, not only for male children, but for female children to see their dad as emotionally present and expressive towards their mom, towards them. That sets up a model for what they look for in a partner, what relationships look like, what it means for your partner to be a parent. Okay, so it's boys get the role model almost directly, right? Oh, this is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to be a partner. This is what it means to be a parent. And girls get it. This is what I should look for. This is what I can look for. Okay. Redefining fatherhood also gives permission to be more fully human. Boys can cry, and girls can be tough. And the impact goes beyond one generation, the generation that you created. There isn't one right way to be a father, but there is a space to be more connected and more intentional. Small, consistent moments of presence matter more than grand gestures. So, what's one stereotype about fatherhood you've had to unlearn? What does being present look like for you as a parent? And what's one way you want to show up differently this week? Take care of yourselves and each other.